The NFL schedulers are dealt with a little bit of a problem solving here, with Buffalo being postponed to Monday. Instead, they were supposed to be playing on Sunday. What do you make of this? Because of all the videos that we're seeing there in Buffalo, it seems like even Monday would be pushing it.
Yeah, and if you're in Buffalo watching this, you already know the Bills and the NFL now telling the snow shovel fans don't come to the stadium. They're also telling the teams, because the plan originally was, well, let's go to the stadium and work out. No, let's not do that either. That goes for the Steelers and for the Bills. So it is a literally dangerous situation. And of course, Bill fans are famously hardy and very proud of their ability to drink a little hot cocoa or something and then jump on a table and then go take your shirt off and go. Yeah, that's not happening here. This is blizzard level conditions. What is secondary to the danger issue, of course, but it's an issue, is if you move it to Monday and that doesn't work, and you move it again
to Tuesday,
what do you do about the imbalance that you now have for the winner of that team then playing in the ensuing week? So it is a weather headache. Obviously, the first response by many is just put these games in domes. The problem is that doesn't solve the weather factor outside the dome that would preclude players, coaches, and fans from getting to the game. It's unsafe to even travel right now in Western New York. A dome wouldn't help that.
And as you kind of alluded to, there are ripple effects throughout the entire league. When something like this happens, if they have to keep postponing the game, well, that could mean that the next divisional round game is then postponed as well.
If you want to be fair, let's work on the assumption that the Bills beat the Steelers. If you want to be fair to their second round opponents, you've got to, and everybody involved, you would have to back that up a little bit. Well, then what about the next week? And what about the next? So it's problematic. They might just end up, because money drives this thing and television drives this thing, might just end up having to bite the bullet and look at this as an act of God. And if you've got a short week, it's God's fault. I'm just kidding about that, but you know what I mean.
We saw the Houston Texans dominate in the wild card round. They are then moving on. We don't know who they're playing yet in the divisional round, but how impressed are you with this Texans team?
I'm not surprised that they won the game, and I'm not surprised at C.J. Stroud's cool confidence. Over the course of the week, he was on the Pat McAfee show, and it was suggested to him that ESPN famous brain panelists, whatever, were saying that they had, not only were the Texans going to lose, but they had no chance. And it was a weird take. First of all, when I say no disrespect to ESPN, actually I do mean disrespect. There were 1.5 point underdogs. That's not the makings of a blowout. What I think we are surprised at is that C.J. Stroud, rookie quarterback, so cool, rookie head coach, rookie coordinator, rookie star on defense, that they handled this. I mean, they manhandled Joe Flacco and the Browns.
Joe did not have his best game.
No, and the 2 pick sixes, of course, are history making. We did say this going in. People have this idea that the Texans, this group of Texans, they don't have playoff pedigree, and it's true. Well, either did this group of Browns. And so really great home crowd in Houston. Congratulations to you for that, and congratulations for being back. Houston and Texas, this is football country, and to have that program not make the playoffs since 2019, and to be dismal. Deshaun Watson and so many other dark clouds hanging over the organization, to have had those things clear now, and there is a path to excellence in Houston, and you've taken a great step towards that.
Weather is dominating some of the headlines for the wild card round, including the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Miami Dolphins. But Taylor Swift was there, even though it was one of the coldest games ever played in the NFL. I think -30. We saw how Patrick Mahomes' helmet got cracked, but there she was dancing with Mama Kelsey in the suite. I loved it.
Yeah, and of course, the weather and what happens with the Chiefs, that impacts the Ravens, that impacts the Bills, and eventually may impact the Super Bowl. Fashion-wise, it's interesting how, things seem like they're an accident and they're not. The jacket, the Kelsey jacket that Ms. Swift wore, and then, oh, what's that? That's interesting. What a strange. It was all so orchestrated and so planned. The fullback, of the 49ers. His wife is a designer of
Yep.
sorts, so she did it. This wasn't an accident. It didn't fall in her lap. Chris Collinsworth, I think, was on the air saying, "Oh, Nike made her a jacket." No, that's not quite how it works.
Yeah.
And then some things are an accident fashion-wise, like it's so cold that when my helmet clunks into yours, Patrick Mahomes', your helmet cracks and
Yeah,
breaks.
that was kind of scary.
It really was. Pro Football Talk, of course, because this is what they do. That simply cannot happen. That's a violation of... You're right. It cannot happen. Unless it does. I think the helmet manufacturers are probably pretty secure in thinking, they didn't hand him some plastic helmet out of the toy shop.
It was -30.
These things happen.
Yeah.
And if it's ever
Abnormal.
negative 30 again, it might happen again.
It might crack again.
Luckily, it won't be, and so it won't.
The coaching carousel is in full swing, and we are seeing a lot of changes around the league, a lot of rumors. What do you make of the most changes that we've seen?
Well, the Bill Belichick story is both fascinating and hilarious. I'm going to say this as frankly as I can. The sycophants and the suck-ups and the water carriers for Bill Belichick in the media has become an army. They have created these whispers in every NFL city. He's going to Dallas. Washington is enamored with him.
What about LA?
He loves the beach, literally. He loves the beach.
Who doesn't?
One report said that he and Jerry Jones have great respect for each other. And first of all, who doesn't love the beach?
Right.
And how would they not have respect for each other? They are not best friends.
Yeah.
I don't care who in the Dallas media. Again, no offense. They are not best friends. This is a media creation now to bolster the career of Bill Belichick, who, by the way, even though he had a brilliant career in New England, his career needs a bolstering. He hasn't been good in 4 years. He was the supervisor. Patriots fans know this. He supervised the worst team in football this year. So the idea that, you got to get Bill, he's going to fix everything. He had 4 years to fix the Patriots, and it didn't happen. Having said that, we're told no on Washington. The Cowboy thing is hilarious. It would require so many dominoes to fall in a weird way.
Yeah.
But Atlanta is real. And one of the reasons is because the Bill Belichick that we know wants to run the organization. And that can be done under Arthur Blank. Now, you work with Terry Fontenot and I assume, and make things work. But Bill Belichick is used to being all-powerful. You'd have to give him the keys to the city. And one other thing here, if you go back and look at Arthur Blank's not his hiring history, but his attempts at hiring. He has, over the years, gone and tried to get that big, including Bill Belichick, gone and tried to take gigantic swings. And in terms of the resume that would say, I can run a program, Bill Belichick is that. In terms of a headline grabber, Bill Belichick is that. I say this respectfully to Atlanta Falcons fans. I think you're still waiting to be energized. You've got the running back, you've got the tight end, you've got the wide receiver, you've got your passion, you've got the building.
Great stadium.
And you've got the owner. But you need one more thing to trigger it, to really believe, especially after this year, where this was a division-winning year for the Falcons.
Right, should have been.
And the way they stumbled under the now deposed coach Arthur Smith was stunning and embarrassing. Bill Belichick to Atlanta would invigorate the entire program, and I think activate the city of Atlanta and the area around the Falcons. And the next thing you know, Falcons, not unlike what's happening with the Texans. It just takes that one thing. And yes, although I am not necessarily a fan of the idea that Bill Belichick is God, I am a fan of the idea that he can invigorate a program, a fan base, and a locker room.
Absolutely. One more for you, Mike Fisher. Let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. Without Pete Carroll, an era ends. What do you see happening there in Seattle? And then Pete says he's not necessarily done coaching if somebody will have him.
Yeah, now at age 72, not unlike Belichick. See, here's the thing. Pete Carroll doesn't have sycophants and water carriers trying to build his... He's just going to go apply for a job. Unlike Belichick, who's orchestrating like a puppeteer the media to get jobs come chasing him. As soon as that announcement was made, I got a text from somebody in the know saying Dan Quinn is jumping to the top of the Seattle wish list. And of course, he's a Super Bowl coordinator there, has been a Super Bowl head coach, and here in Dallas has been outstanding in turning around the Dallas defense. So Dan Quinn to Seattle, that is, if you want to put a penny on it, that's where I would put my penny.
I also feel like when we talk to some of the players in the Cowboys locker room about, hey, if this is potentially Dan Quinn's last postseason here with the Dallas Cowboys, how do you feel? Seems like most of the players are excited for him, okay with it. There seems to be like an acknowledgement of Dan Quinn has done such a great job here. He's earned the opportunity to be a head coach.